Hey guys, it's Taylor. Today is officially my second day of classes in the second semester of my junior year of college, and it has been almost a year since I filmed a YouTube video. You guys don't know how much that pains me to say. Honestly, I've been trying to get back to it for the longest time. There were a lot of situations and things happening that made it so I was off for a while, but I am back now. I have so many fun things planned, and I'm kind of making 2017 my year. So I figured out my lighting situation, so hopefully the color is a little bit better for you guys. Before, I couldn't find a white balance that I liked, but I think that having it edited this way I think is helping a little bit because the lights are so yellow, but I don't think you guys can tell anymore that they're so yellow. But anyway, I don't need to go into a long story about why I've been gone, how long I've been gone. I'm just really excited to be back and making videos for you guys. Today is going to be my first one. I was gonna have it be like a chit-chatty get ready with me, so I don't know about the construction noises outside, but we're gonna try for it. Hopefully the construction noise isn't too bad. They're literally building another apartment building right across the street from mine, so it's like super noisy. Hopefully that doesn't interfere too much. I have already done my brows. As you guys can see, I used, of course, the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown, and then I used her, is it the number 12 brush? All of my writing has worn off, but I think it's the number 12 brush. But anyway, so my brows are already done, and I'm just gonna do the rest of my face with you guys and kind of get back into the swing of things. I'm super excited to be back. I hope you guys are excited. I have so many fun things coming up. If you guys want to get ready with me today, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I went ahead and zoomed you guys in here. Hopefully my autofocus will stay where it's supposed to be. It's always kind of iffy. Also, I did cut my hair, so it's a lot shorter and I re-dyed it red, so I'm super excited about that. I was just kind of ready for a change. So to get started, I am taking my matte? I swear to God, I know what I'm talking about. I'm taking my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I'm going to use my Sigma E57 Firm Shader Brush. Just take a little bit of that on the tip, and I'm going to highlight underneath my eyebrows. This just kind of helps really define it. It cleans up anything that's wrong with my brows underneath them, which there's usually a lot because they're kind of going through like a quarter life crisis right now. So I just like to use that to kind of smooth out the underneath line and to help highlight. Honestly, I'm pretty sure you guys saw me do this before I even left YouTube, so perfect. Now that is the only part of that I do with the brush. Then I just take some on my ring fingers and go ahead and apply that to my whole lid. I know it's so basic and every makeup artist uses it, but the paint pots are really great for using under your shadows as a primer. I kind of prefer it over a traditional primer just because I feel like it's a little bit stickier, so it kind of helps the shadows to stick better, but it's not so sticky that you can't blend them. So I feel like it gives me more longevity without losing, you know, the blendability of the shadows. Alright, so I am going to admit I was super tempted to use the Modern Renaissance palette today just because that is kind of my new favorite. It's my baby. But I wanted to be really true to what I've been doing in a typical winter day. Plus, thank you, autofocus. But anyway, I wanted to stick to really what I have been using in the winter. I got the Modern Renaissance palette super recently, so it's not really something that I've been using like every single day for all of winter. So what I have been using is the Tartelette palette. It's the Tartelette in Bloom, I think, so it's the second one. This just had kind of more colors that I was interested in versus the first one, so this is the one that I purchased. And I might scooch up a little bit so you guys can see my eyes a little better. Alrighty, we are up close and personal. There's no turning back now. Alright, so I am going to take just a fluffy angled brush in the shade Charmer. It's the really light highlight shade. Okay, I turned my autofocus off, so hopefully it stays in focus the whole time. But anyway, I'm just going to take that shade, highlight under my brow bone, and then use it to just kind of set all of the paint pot. I always find that using like a nude shadow to help set your primer really helps, again, with the blendability of the shadow. So this is kind of the initial layer that sticks to the primer, and then everything else builds on it, and I just think it makes a really great lasting effect. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to do is take the shade Sweetheart. So that is the shade right here. This is the shade I was using before. That's that highlight shade. Now I'm taking the shade Sweetheart, and I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to mix in a little bit of Flower Child. I'm using a MAC 217 brush and just taking a little bit of both of those and blending them really softly into my crease. This has been my favorite look for most of the winter time. I really love pink shadows, and I always think maybe someday I'll like use something else, and then it never happens because, I mean, Let's be real, these are gorgeous. Gonna mix both of those over here as well. Now I am going to take just a little bit more Sweetheart so I can get the more like true pink shade, and I'm going to put more of that in that same area, just kind of darken it up a little bit. And what I like to do is once I'm done with the initial crease blending, I like to just kind of blend it out so it's going a little bit into my brow bone area as well, just to be the blending. Be the blending shade. I swear, I can't talk. Like, I can't. Being away from the camera so long has ruined me. This is literally just what I'm gonna do. Like one time, I'm starting to get carpal tunnel in my wrist, and one time I literally had to wear a brace on my wrist from the amount of blending that I had been doing. I filmed like a bunch of videos all at once, and I've been doing like a lot of makeup and stuff like that. I've also been doing like other people's makeup, and I had blended so much that I actually had to start wearing braces on my wrist. It was great. It's a great experience. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to do is take another Sigma brush. Look how ghetto this is. Okay, so my dog got a hold of my Sigma brushes and chewed the end off of it and then kind of bit on the top of it, so it was a little misshapen. I kind of had to pound it with a hammer and move it around a little bit. You guys, I can't afford to buy new brushes. So this is the Sigma E44 Firm Blender. It is the perfect shape if your dog hasn't eaten it, to get really tight in that crease there but still blend a lot, so it's great. I'm going to take the shade Rebel from that palette, so looks like this. It's a little bit more of like a red shade mixed with the brown and pink, but I do like the tones of this, and I'm just gonna kind of darken up really tightly in my crease there. Blend, blend, blend. Literally all I do in my life is blend eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Sigma Cream Color Brush it's the E58, and it's a nice, really dense, flat brush, but the fibers are a little bit longer. Fibers, is that what they call them? They're a little bit longer, so I find that that's better. I don't even know how to say it. I like it that they're not so stiff, because they are longer, they have a little bit more mobility, so I do like that. I'm going to take the shade Funny Girl right here. It is the prettiest shimmery shade. I love it. And I find that this look is really versatile, so it can match a lot of things, which I like as well. Alright, so I'm gonna get a good amount of that on my brush. You can kind of, oh, it's not on autofocus, I forgot. But you can kind of see there that there's like a lot of shadow on that brush. I'm just going to swipe it back and forth on my eyelid to get that shimmer. Really quick and simple. If you do want to use Fix Plus or something like that, you can, to kind of intensify it. I personally find that most of the time this is enough. This shadow is really creamy and it works really nicely. But if I do want a little extra oomph in my shadow, I will use a little bit of Fix Plus. So now I'm going to take the MAC 217 and just kind of blend that out to make sure it's not just, here's my crease color and my lid color. No additional product on that brush, by the way. Perfect. I'm just going to take a little bit more Funny Girl, pop it more towards the inner part of my eye. So for now we are done with the eyes. We're going to finish the rest of it up after doing face. So I'm going to zoom you guys out a little bit so you can see. We're going to finish the face and then we'll come back and complete the eye look. Alright guys, since I'm a little farther away, I turned my autofocus back on, so hopefully that works again. So like I said, we're going to go on and start with the face. What I have been really liking lately is to really mattify the face with the makeup, but then like beforehand when I'm caring for my skin, I like to have it a little bit more hydrated. I have been having some problems with dryness. I am trying to find a new face wash, and a lot of them that I've been trying have been drying me out, so as I go through the process of trying to find a new one that I like, I've gone through a lot that I don't like. They kind of dry me out a little bit too much. So I am prepping my face with the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. Really, if any of you watch YouTube religiously, you've heard about this. It's got coconut water in it, I believe. Yeah, coconut water. It's super hydrating for the face. I had kind of stopped using primers for a while there, but I got so dry this winter that I really needed something to kind of put some of that moisture back in my face. Okay, I'm gonna put up my hair because it's getting annoying. You guys, my ponytail is so short. Ooh, girl. This is why we have contour. Alright, so the next thing that I have been doing recently is I take the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser. As far as drugstore concealers, I feel like this is kind of a holy grail in the beauty world. Again, with the autofocus. turned the autofocus off again, so hopefully this video is actually in focus when I edit it. So I'm taking it in the shade, it's just the brightener, so it's the pinky one. I'm just gonna put a couple dots of it underneath my eyes, and that kind of helps to start covering up my dark circles. Like I said, I had a 7:30 a.m. class this morning, so I was up real early. So this kind of just helps to conceal the fact that I am literally exhausted. Just a little bit of that to help cover up those dark circles, and then we'll move on to foundation. For foundations, I like to mix 2 of them, and the reason I do that is because then I can keep using the same foundations all year round, and I can adjust how much of each one I use based on the season. So in the wintertime, I'm usually a little bit more dry, and in the summertime, obviously you're sweating a lot more, which is really gross, but it's just a fact of life. So your skin's usually a lot more hydrated in the summertime unless you're doing like a ton of swimming. So I use the Ulta Demi Matte Foundation in the shade Cream, and the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. This is my holy grail face product. I love this, and I use that one in the shade Medium. So I just mix them a little bit together on this little soap dish here. You guys have seen this from me before. So for the most part, I take more of the Demi Matte Foundation just because I do like to stay fairly matte in my face products, but then I add just a touch of this, especially in the winter time, for some hydration. Also, if I want to kind of sheer it out, I'll use more of this than I will with the other one. And then I'm just going to take my Sigma F80 flat kabuki brush. I'd kind of gotten away from using a brush for my foundation, but recently I've just been back into it. I just go through it in phases. So I'm just going to go ahead and dot that onto my face a little bit after mixing it, and then I'm going to go ahead and start blending that in. I've seen that what is it, the Silly Sponge. I've seen that all over Facebook and Instagram, obviously, and I'm really curious because I do like the idea of something that doesn't use as much of your product up, because like this brush eats up so much product, but I don't know, it just looks like a chicken cutlet for your boob. Please tell me you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. Otherwise, that's really awkward. Alright, I'd say that looks pretty good. So next I'm actually going to use another shade of that same concealer. This one is in the shade Light, and it's just, again, that Instant Age Rewind little puffball concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and just swipe this way, and then do the typical sunbeam kind of look here. Then I'm gonna do my 3 little leaves at the top, down here on the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow. So I kind of use this as a highlight and a concealer for my under eye circles. I don't really have a ton of other things on my face right now that I need to conceal besides that little guy up there, but again, he just follows the general highlighting. So then I'm using this BB cream skin perfecting brush from EcoTools. It's one of their, like, I don't know, they had a special line come out that all had this kind of handle on it. So that is the one that I'm using. Sometimes this gets a little bit too harsh for my under eye area, so I only use it some of the time, and then the rest of the time I just use like a sponge, or I'll use like a softer foundation brush. But I like how pointed this is, but it's still kind of fluffy. I don't know why it took me so long to get on the baking train, but I am 100% on it for now. It does dry out my skin sometimes, so I have to be really picky about when I do it, but I have a lot of meetings to go to today, so I do want my skin to be pretty perfect. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the Makeup Forever Micro Finish, like the HD finishing powder, and I'm actually going to put it into that soap dish again, just because I'm not super crazy about the netting, and I know you can take it out or like change the packaging or whatever, but it's easier for me to just pour a little bit of it out than it is to try to do all that. Then I'm actually going to use just one of these little cosmetic sponges. They're the super cheap ones that you can buy literally everywhere, and I'm just going to bake under my eyes. So I'm gonna dab it into that little mountain of powder that I made, and then I'm just going to bake underneath my eyes. I'm going to pat a little bit of it into my skin in the places where my pores get really big, just because I do find that this helps shrink those a lot. It covers them up, but I'm not baking there. I'm literally just pressing some of the powder into my face. But underneath my eyes, I am adding an excess. As you guys know, everybody knows what baking is now, so I feel like I don't have to explain it. I was really late on the train to do this. I tried it a couple times when it first started becoming a trend, and it just was not my thing, but recently I've really been liking it just because it does keep me so matte. And again, in the areas where my pores are extra big, I just kind of press a little bit into it, but not in excess. And then I take whatever powder I have left and press it into my shiny areas. So now that I have that under my eyes for baking, we're gonna go ahead and do contour. I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, which my dog so kindly chewed while I was home. And I'm just going to take an angled brush. Sometimes I use a like thick fan brush, but lately I've just been liking this guy. And I'm gonna go ahead and swipe up in my cheek area. Get just a soft contour. I'm not usually into like that really harsh kind of contour, you know, where it's like the line could stab somebody. I just want a little bit of definition on my face. I have a very round face, so I do like to have like that color in there. It does show a little bit more definition in my cheekbones, but not super worried about it being sharp or deadly. Oh, also with that contour kit, I'm using the middle shade mostly, but I used a little bit of that one. Next, I'm going to take my Ulta matte bronzer in the shade Cool, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of that. I find that helps deepen it up a little bit, so I like to add some in here just because, like I said, my head is so round, it kind of helps with that. And then, obviously, classic, take it under here, being really careful of the fact that I'm wearing a turtleneck. Okay, so now that that's finished, I'm going to take my e.l.f. Small tapered brush. This is what I usually use to set my under eyes, but now I'm just going to use it to wipe away all that excess powder. This does leave you really, really dry on your face. Like, you can almost kind of feel the dryness from the powder, which is not my favorite thing. So I'm going to show you guys how I combat that in a minute, but first I'm going to finish the face and then you'll see at the end. Okay, so I'm taking my NARS Orgasm Blush. This is nothing new for you guys. You guys know this is my favorite. It's pretty much everyone's favorite. That's why it has such a big following, but it's just the perfect shade. Like, you look a little bit flushed. It's nice and peachy, but it's not overbearing. I'm gonna actually add a little bit of it on my forehead, just whatever's left on my brush, and my nose and my chin. This adds a little bit of natural color to your face without blushing your forehead. Okay, and for highlight, what I've been obsessed with lately is the Carly Bible palette. Mine's really disgusting, so please ignore that, but I use this shade here and then just one little dab of that shade. So it's mostly that light pink color, but then I add a little bit of the like champagne-y gold color and just right there on the cheekbones. Then on the tip of my nose as well, get that guy all shiny, and of course my Cupid's bow. In the bridge of my nose, there's a train if you couldn't hear it. Okay, now I'm not going to zoom you in, but we're just going to finish up the eyes really quickly. I'm going to take my Sigma E20 short shader brush and go ahead and dip that in the shade Sweetheart. Run that underneath my lower lash line. Now this one I'm being fairly loosey-goosey about it. I'm kind of letting it blend out a little bit more. And then I'm going to stick a little dab of Rebel in there, but much tighter to the lash line. Next I'm going to do my liquid liner. You guys know this is pretty much what I have to do every single day just because I love it so much. The Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner Pen in Intense Black. This guy is running out, so I'm actually going to do this off camera really quickly and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I have finished that. I'm going to go on and do some mascara. I'm going to use the Benefit Roller Lash. And basically you just take it, curve towards your eye obviously, and then you kind of, so like you roll it while you're putting it on. It makes this nice little curled effect. Really helps to pick up each and every lash. It kind of hooks onto it almost, pulls it upward. Really nice. It also helps to separate them so you don't get like huge clumps of lashes. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of the highlighter that I used on my face and just use it to highlight my brow bone there. And I'm gonna take my MAC 217 and just again blend a little bit of that out. Go ahead and set my brows with the Rimmel Brow This Way gel, just the clear gel. Okay, and you know how I said that was really drying and I wanted to do something that kind of helped it to not be so drying. What I've been doing is setting my face with my MAC Fix Plus. I never used to do this because I thought it made me too oily, but with all the powders that I'm using, it just kind of helps to make everything look a little bit more natural instead of, you know, so powdery, but then it also, like, it doesn't take away from how matte it is, so I really like that. Okay, so finally I am bringing you in just a little bit for my favorite lip combo of all time. I wear this constantly. I am gonna redo, because I had to do a little bit of a lip scrub. So I'm just gonna take my highlighter brush, take whatever's on there and put it on my Cupid's bow. I like to take a little bit of Vaseline and just put the tiniest layer. So I just kind of dab my finger in there a couple times and pat it into my lips. And then once that's had a moment to soak, I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Crush. I'm going to go ahead and start with that guy. Okay, so once I have that done, I'm just going to give a tissue a quick kiss. And I do that with my mouth slightly open, so it takes care of the little inside parts as well. And then I'm going to top that off with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Gloss in Vintage. This is such a good combo. They work so well together. And then another quick kiss on the tissue. And you're done. So guys, this is the finished look. I love this. It uses a lot of rosy tones, which are really my favorite. I love working with pinks, so that lip color, all the colors from that Tarte lip palette, I think they all work really well together, and this is just nice for, you know, an everyday kind of thing. It's kind of simple. It doesn't take as long, obviously, as it takes me on camera to apply when I'm actually just doing it, you know, getting ready in the day, but nice, quick, easy, but still glamorous. I think adds a little bit of sparkle to your day. So thank you guys so much for watching and for getting ready with me. I'm so happy to be back. I can't wait to film my next video for you guys. And just so you know, I am uploading every Thursday from now on. So that is the day that I will be doing all of my uploads. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've missed you so much. I am so excited to be back, and just thanks for sticking around. I will see you all in my next video. Bye!